Oh.
Now I get the giggles. Hey, everybody, welcome in to the studio again at the Gosu Network studios as we're still kind of moving stuff around again. So we're just kind of sitting here on the...
We're just gonna do this.
We're just gonna do this.
I'll take over here. It's okay, JR.
That's right.
It's okay. Let the professional talk.
That's
here.
right. Let the professional... Yes, because this is a face made for radio.
It's okay.
Yeah.
This is a shave made for radio. Woke up late and rushed out the door this morning.
That's right.
Anyways,
that's my excuse too.
Rants and raves for the week. We're still working on figuring out. Obviously, this is a slightly less professional podcast compared to our other ones.
But then again, this is a less than professional kind of attitude toward
week definitely.
Yeah.
But anyways, so
but whatever. I mean, we would kind of
First thing on the docket, we're going to correct Wednesday's show. We said that Epsilon, blah, 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 not leaving. Then yesterday, Epsilon announced that Panthera, the Smite players, were leaving. No official reason was given. Again, rumors had been abounding for a very long time that Epsilon was looking to leave Epsilon. But hey, now it finally happened. Whatever, moving on with our lives. Staying in Smite, Hindu Man released power rankings. Now, power rankings, it is never too early for. It's not like you issued predictions.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, it's never too early to issue predictions either. It's just a question of how accurate your predictions may or may not be. And so what occurred was...
It's kind of like making like a draft pick.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a draft pick.
And so he did power rankings in EU, and what he thought would be how teams would do. And in terms of power rankings and everything else, I didn't inherently agree with what he listed. A couple teams I think should have gone a little bit higher. But again, that's my personal opinion. I do not think that his power rankings inherently were wrong. Problem was on Twitter, a lot of people were mad because of either scrim results that they had seen or other stuff like that, and they got super pissy that their teams weren't up there. We saw some girlfriends who were very mad that their boyfriends' teams were listed low. We saw hardcore fans mad that their team was listed low. We saw ex-coaches mad that their team, and it's like, you know what? First of all, your disappointment and your frustration is valid, but do not say that it is too early to make power rankings when you are making your own power ranking in the next sentence.
Right.
And so it's not, it's too early to make a power ranking. It's that
this is the way I would rank them.
Exactly. Make your damn statement. Own it. That's really all there is to it. And I think
really, like the power rank, Hindu Man was doing his power rank.
Exactly.
It's not like he was saying these are the absolute unjust results.
Exactly.
Kind of thing. It's not like college football where it's like
and I agree with what Hi-Rez Stu said. Hi-Rez Stu, old school when it comes to competition. Everybody for Hi-Rez Stu back when he competed, everybody started at last place, and then you had to work your way up.
Yep.
And obviously, again, that's the difference between power rankings, placings, and then final results. And again, one of the people who was like, "Oh, power rankings are stupid," was look at Dig and Enemy and see how they did. Well, first of all, Dig didn't do that great, and second of all, yeah, sure, Enemy did do well, but throughout the first majority of the season, that's where they ended up. That's the point of power rankings and everything else. But Hi-Rez et al. Are not completely out of the woods here because there were a couple members of the Hi-Rez studio who decided to take this into their own hands and start memeing it and start attacking teams again.
Oh, jeez.
If you are a caster, and I don't care if the players get that it's a joke, but when you've got, because I'm going to read a tweet that was at this meme thing. Here's the list from Adonis. Power ranking, MoX, poker guy, I played with reels, they scream a lot, we want Limelight 2, stupid team name, our organization died, and shit his pants at LAN. Other than the shit his pants at LAN one, okay, they're not too bad, but then when you've got a manager of the team saying, well, you make it hard for me to guess which one Hungry for More is when you put stupid team name and our org died on the same list. And so he's poking a little bit hard here when, again, last week, Adonis got pretty much into a brawl with teams on Twitter. Like, you need to watch your social media presence, Adonis. Like, I get it. I get that this is your job now, is that you're the edgy one, but, like, you're asking for trouble, dude. Yeah. Like, there's a reason that some people have been driven out of scenes.
Yeah, you can be the bad boy of social media for Smite, and things like that. That's all well and good, but sometimes you need to let the wave die down a little bit more before you pick it back up, especially during a preseason.
And especially because there's nothing else to talk about. And so what there is to talk about in Smite is this power rankings. It becomes a big deal. Exactly. Like, who cares? Like, okay, it's power rankings and
he's kind of Kardashian the Smite set.
Exactly. Like, you don't need just let the power rankings thing go. Let next week come around and go from there. And I think that goes to everybody. Just let the power ranking stuff slide. Move on. Start looking at Latin America. Latin America starting up this weekend. Hopefully, I might drag them into the studio tomorrow. We might do a broadcast. Need to see if we can get some replays of that stuff going. Yep. Because Latin America's been less than helpful when it comes to understanding what their schedule is. To be perfectly honest, it's not like the level up guys have been incredibly helpful with us, but getting the teams together to actually play the relegations has been confusing, to say the least. A little bit of a nightmare. So, but not, I mean, it's beginning. It's preseason.
We're very anxious and excited.
Yeah,
is the problem? Because we're like kids at Christmas wanting to open up all the presents.
Speaking of kids at Christmas and presents, we've mentioned, and mostly internally, that we're interested in Paragon. People know about that. Paragon is just entered early access today, so they're letting founders packs in waves. Mm-hmm. So if you weren't already in, you can get in today. At some point throughout the day, your account will get flagged. We'll probably be on later today as well in Paragon.
Yes.
Playing. It's fun. We are going to be a little more hands off in Paragon. We're going to let the community grow. Epic is a very, very community driven studio, and so we're going to let the studio and the community of diehard Paragon fans, because we know they're out there and we enjoy the game, but we're also we can't dedicate it to what community drivers at this point in the scene deserve. Right. So we're going to kind of stay hands off, and if we see the community reaching a point where tournaments become a thing, then we the Gosu Network can come in and say, hey, we've got some experience. We would be honored to work with you guys. Pretty much.
Tournaments, have some good time. Actually, do content articles, stuff like that. So we have all that stuff kind of planning behind the scenes. If it kind of goes, if we look like it's gonna go the way that we want it to,
and we think that it will.
Because because it's a great game.
Oh yeah,
it's made by a great company. It's made by a lot of great backers. Bankers. Well, yeah, sure, bankers got something to do with it too. But like we have that. We've got Overwatch. We've got Paladins, Smite,
and Paladins.
Battleborn.
Speaking of, Paladins is in a rough spot right now. And I've seen several people voicing their concerns. And I'm not touching it again this patch because I've seen people who I trust. Box Tempest on Twitter, go follow the man. He's literally dedicated the last 3 months of his life to Paladins as a community member, and he's doing his best. And he's got a very good pulse on or a good finger on the pulse of the game. Mm-hmm. And so I trust him when he says this game has turned back into a who's got the best solo hyper carry. That's not a game that I'm interested in. And whether or not Paladins reaches a game that we're interested in or anything else, first of all, we're not going to touch tournaments until there's spectator involved.
Right.
I personally, obviously as a production guy, I'm a little biased, but we feel, I think that I'm not too out of line here by saying that the point of a tournament is, yes, to show off who is best, but also to show them off. You can't just do it. And props to Paladins World for trying to grow the scene, and props to Hi-Rez for hosting tournaments, but I see no reason to try and get into the tournament scene when you can't cast a tournament.
Yeah, because that.
And credits to the guys that are trying to cast off of player POVs, but hell no, I did that.
It's rough. I mean, like if you look back in the day when League didn't have a spectator mode, that was a pain in the neck. Before it crashed and died, you had that with DC's MOBA.
Yeah.
And we had a community up and running. We were running tournaments, and it was impossible and just terrible to try to run tournaments in that.
Well, Hearthstone was you literally had to have the players stream
and then you had to cut to
the broadcaster to the broadcast booth, who would then spec this whole thing together, and it's awful, and it's still some of it remnants today, but it's not only is it difficult, but it can actually lend to more issues than it's worth. Because then you run into even more stream sniping issues, etc. Which is why even a rudimentary spectator system is better than nothing. And that's one of the reasons that I'm so excited about Paragon. Is Paragon had an OT2 in the second online alpha test. They had a replay system in.
Yep. which is great because they learned, because that's one thing that Blizzard did with StarCraft 2 was like they had the replay system, the match system, they had all that stuff ready to go, and then you see things like Smite where they're trying to
it was done fairly early on.
Well, yeah, they did it fairly early on, but it's now we're 2 years into it, and the replay system isn't.
The replay system is janky.
It is busted.
To be fair, part of that has to do with the way that patches work, and so I'm going to give Hi-Rez a pass on that as somebody who lives in replay,
right?
Or in spectator mode. It's a little bit finicky, and there are some things that I would like to see fixed. But Smite has one of the more robust spectator systems.
It does. I will say that it does. It has a hell of a good control scheme, and not
that it's perfect, but it's
not
very
perfect,
robust.
but it's definitely open. It's not as confined as, say, something like in League or some of the other games and things like that. But because I definitely like to have a little bit of freedom to move the camera around what it is, and then not just that, but with you being able to use the controllers as your camera mode, makes everything so much smoother.
Yeah,
and it's great.
And for replays in Smite, the issue is that okay, you can't record everything. I get that. Mm-hmm. That's a raw server space issue. But then in terms of actually trying to watch a replay, you have the problem of like you mentioned, not being able to capture it because of patches. And that's as simple as when Hi-Rez puts a patch out, they wipe all of the old ones.
Yeah.
And I understand why they do it, to preserve space, but at the same time, it does make it difficult. Yeah. And so if you're wondering why it is that a replay you could access yesterday but not today, that 1 meg patch that Hi-Rez put out, that was a hotfix, that burned all these little tiny patches that Hi-Rez pushes semi regularly. Those kill replays, and it sucks. Yeah. But it's also it's a feature of it's a version mismatch between what's being viewed on the server and what's in your game, and it confuses the game client, which is why Hi-Rez just deletes it, and it sucks. But it's also better than what League has, which is no. So when League of Legends has zero replay system, and you have to go around the system to try and get to watch. Credit to Hi-Rez.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if you go back to StarCraft, download your replays. Replay saves.
Yeah,
that's it.
Local replay saving would be great.
I mean, if you had that, I mean, that's what I'm really hoping that Overwatch really has.
Yeah, local replays
is that they just move that in there, because that would be awesome. Then you can have them, because
I can't has it too.
Yeah,
and it's great
exactly, because I can't tell you, I still have stuff from 8 years ago. I still have replays from 8 years ago for StarCraft, from like all kinds. Oh yeah, that's right. Because I don't delete those, because I still like to watch those.
His glory days getting beaten on by the Koreans.
That's right. Yeah, the Koreans.
We all know it's true. I've got an ex-Zerg player on my friends list who he just talks about StarCraft 1, where there was one ranked ladder for everybody.
For everybody.
He went Korean.
And boom, done.
But
it's like one of those things that sometimes you like to like your greatest moments in whatever you want to have those highlight reels, or even if you want to look back at somebody, because the new stars of today could be the older people working in the community and that kind of a thing. And it's like, look, here's how we're going to teach the new wave.
Yeah, well, I've got
show them like the history of stuff.
Yeah,
but.
Yeah.
Anyway,
speaking of history, I've got a friend. His name is Peter. He's a Danish action hero on YouTube.
Ooh.
Check him out if you're into frag videos. He does amazing montage work in TF2, and he goes back, and we're talking 10-year-old footage here practically.
Wow.
Of TF2, and he pulls it up, and sometimes the demos are kind of broken, but he makes it work, and it's footage, and he's been doing videos, X Legacy, and the Legacy series has been all these videos highlighting the greats, and it's very impressive, and it's something that we all wish that we could do, and you can, but a lot of times you have to take stream highlights and stuff like that to make stuff work now. And it's funny because we got off on this topic talking about tournament hosting, but whatever.
That's the same thing.
The point of the studio, we talk about whatever comes to our mind.
Yeah, whatever comes to our mind, because we are like rabbits or not rabbits. What do you call the thing?
Jack Russell Terriers.
Jack Russell Terriers, where it's like squirrels. Or cats with laser beams. You just kind of get distracted.
He gets distracted by the shiny easily. But anyway,
I do get distracted by shiny. But yeah, anyway, so so we go back to so we got Paragon. Overwatch is still kicking ass, taking names. I mean, I was watching commercials the other day, and it was every other commercial series had Overwatch. So they are pushing that thing big. And then Battleborn, if you haven't seen it already, Steam's got Battleborn. Made by the people of Borderlands,
I'm so torn about. I played the Battleborn Alpha thing with some friends, and my friends loved it. And for those who don't know, Battleborn is pretty much Arena meets Siege from Smite, and it had some balance issues and everything else, and it could be good. I don't see an esports scene coming there, but that doesn't mean you can't be excited about it as an entry into the genre.
It's just to have a little fun. Because it looks like a wicked fun game. I mean, yeah, they're building it as a MOBA and stuff.
It does. It fits into the Smite
which is good. I wouldn't. Yeah.
If Gigantic is here, or not Gigantic. If Overwatch is here and Smite is, or TF2's over here.
Yeah.
Gigantic is here. Smite's over here. Oh, Dota's over here. You've got Gigantic leaning over here. Battleborn's a little bit closer. Paragon's about here. Gigantic is almost in the middle.
Yeah.
Because Gigantic's in this weird place for me where I have zero interest in the game anymore between the way they handle the community, between the fact that they fired the majority of their staff, and the fact that they've had some issues. I'm not following Gigantic anymore. You know, once they come out of beta, I might try it again.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the game's going to make it, quite frankly.
I think if they really wanted to do something, I wouldn't mind them kind of turning it a little bit and giving it kind of a little bit more co-op mission-based gameplay.
Lawbreakers was the one.
Oh, Lawbreakers, yeah.
Past Gigantic.
Yeah,
past Overwatch in terms of more shooter than anything.
Yeah, than anything. But it had me thinking, because I was watching the trailer for Battleborn, the new trailer that they had.
That was you, not me.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
It's fine. But the thing that got me is, we were complaining the other week on this show that about the character design.
Yeah.
Character design stuff. And and then we see the Battleborn, basically the same archetypes. You have your guy with you have your girl with the archer. You have your guy with the guns. You have a big tanky kind of guy with a big machine gun kind of a thing. So you have all those tropes. You have all those archetypes.
So much character.
I
want to punch half them in the face because they're all assholes.
I mean, you've got you basically have. I mean, they look cool. They have the same they have the same tropes and same things like that. But they look different. They look different than anything else. And this goes back to Paladin's character design, that it just looks too similar.
Now, to give Paladin some credit, they've been working on it. It's got a little bit more character. Now it's got some gameplay issues that have me not wanting to play it. But this is something that I wanted to talk about on air. So I'm gonna do the whole lead in, and then you can feel.
Okay.
So we've got Overwatch. Originally, we thought was going to be free to play. Now it's $40 buy-in,
which I'm fine with.
Battleborn, we always knew was going to be buy-in, and that's what was going to kill it for a lot of people. Is Overwatch is free. Well, now they're both going to cost. Gigantic is still free. Mm-hmm. Paladins is still free-ish. Now they changed their mind, and now heroes are no longer all free to play. You have to buy your champions. The only reason I have an issue with this is because how hard Hi-Rez build the always will be free line at the beginning. Actually, I'm surprised that nobody's tried to sue them for false advertising yet. I understand why Hi-Rez changed it, but this is going to make it very, very difficult for Paladins because you have to pay $30, which is just $10 shy of Overwatch, and you still don't have all of the cards, and you still don't have the skins, compared to Overwatch, which is you get everything for all the characters right away, plus you earn via in-game currency those skins. And then you also have Lawbreakers, which just yesterday they redid their logo, they rebranded it, they did a huge shift, a lot of stuff. Get you out of here. And they decided that they are going to be a digital premium title. They'll be Steam exclusive, and they will cost. There will be it's probably going to be a $15 to $20 game, maybe $30. It's not going to be a full price $60 release. But Lawbreakers is going to fall into the also pay to play category. And at this point, I think that it's good. I've always been a bit of a fan, actually, of games where you do kind of need to buy in. I mean, and a Paragon is free to play, but right now it's founders packs to get in. But Paragon's got a very interesting model, sort of close to Dota. All heroes will always be free, and you can buy booster packs, and you can buy skins, and you can buy challenges. But that's it. And I like the challenges thing because it's like the Dota. The Dota.
I agree with you because the challenges thing is pretty awesome because I really like, when they started putting in those challenges. years ago, and it's like now. I mean, thank you Xbox 360, Xbox and Microsoft for the only good thing that you've done for gaming in the last few years. Lionheart Studios, but
a little salty still.
Still a little salty, still a little hurt right in here. That's okay though. No, it's not. Coming for you. But when they came up with the achievement system, everyone's like, "Oh, that's stupid, that's dumb," and then it's like, now I got to get achievements, now I got to get challenges, now I got to do this. But it's like that evolution is what drives. If you think about it, that we're literally playing an RPG game inside of some other game because you want to get those achievements, you want to get those levels, you want to get those things. Well, and it's great
with Paragon. It's similar. I brought up Dota. It's similar to I'm pulling up last week's notes as well, or comments as well. With Paragon, it's the...
That's cool. How'd you do that with the little things on the phone?
I don't know. They're just there.
They're just there?
I can't get rid of them.
Sorry, I'm looking at his phone. He's got all the little icons for all the games on top. I've never...
No, not games. They're just the different people that I follow.
Oh, is that little channels? Is that what it is?
Anyways,
sorry.
So he's distracting me.
See, distracted again from that. But
shiny. But no, so the point being is... we're just past it. The point being is that... Dota has you buy a compendium pass or you buy a mission similar to Counter-Strike or TF2, and then at the end of that you get a chance to, or not a chance, you can get skins and stuff through it. And that was the wrong video. I want.
But that kind of thing is really great though, because it's kind of like a mini quest pack, or kind of like a mini side quest kind of a thing that you can pick up. And that one that gets you to come into the game, play the game more, get more involved. Because you can play a game a couple of times and be like, I don't like it, or I really like it, that kind of a thing. But it's the more time you play, the different breeds of people that you play with that give you a real sense of the game. You could have, your first couple of games you could play with total people that have never played the game before, that kind of thing, and you all kind of suck, and then you kind of rally around, or you play with a bunch of really good people. You're like, oh, this game is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But then again, you don't really have to do anything because they're really awesome. Or you could be pretty good at those kind of games, and then you play with anyway. But it's like that kind of thing.
It's something to sort of sink your teeth into.
Yeah.
And it's good because it gives you exclusivity in terms of skins. If you go to Epic Games' Paragon site, you can see an example of that for Steel, where you get the Challenger skin, which is I've bought into the Mastery line for this character, and then you've got the actual Master skin, where it's almost like infused skins in Dota, unusual skins in TF2, or almost like Diamond in Smite, where it's got a bit of a glow to it and everything else. So it's interesting, and it's worth checking out. So anyways, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up here again. As I said, I was pulling up on my phone messages, and we'll definitely take this into account next time. Appreciate it, Darkle, for your comment. We appreciate that. We're glad that you enjoyed the content, and me looking at my other screen and stuff. Well, that's again, we're here now, so there's just the one screen that we're looking at, which just is us looking back at ourselves.
Yeah. We're just staring at each other, but it's opposite because it's in the camera, which
and then some lighting issues. Again, we're working on this in the future. Thank you for your comment as well. We had a thought of maybe making this a live show. We're still not totally sure on that one, because it is nice to be able to pull up the YouTube stuff and just check out your comments, and we will, if not get back to you on the comment itself, we will again try to make it engaged here. So thank you, we do appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we are working on lighting. There's a bright window right here.
Yeah, we got a window right. Yeah,
curtain shopping.
Yeah, I need to go curtain shopping because I'm so used to working in the actual studio room over there, and the couch is a little bit more comfortable, and I've just been lazy
we probably next week will go to a slightly more studio centric recording. We're not quite sure yet. We're still building stuff as well. We're going to actually have, at some point, we're going to build ourselves or buy an actual studio. If you guys are familiar with the casting desk at Hi-Res or at Riot or at ESPN,
we'll have
we're
an actual desk,
actual cameras, not webcams.
Yeah, so it'll change and evolve and things like that. So definitely keep making comments and things like that. How we can improve stuff. That's really the only way that we can get better. Of course, content wise, we're always generating stuff. We're gonna be doing a lot more stuff like the studio. We of course have the Smite Godcast. We've got the Overwatch the briefing. And then as we get into other games like Paragon, and Battleborn and stuff like
Yeah.
that. As we get into more stuff like that, and who knows, we could the Gosu Network could bring back old shows like Nerd Chills and stuff like that. So
Those are
old shows. Oh,
I
still,
my time.
No, I still have all the video because I don't delete anything. I still have all
Nothing. His computer's a mess.
It's
awful.
It's a mess. But anything like that. So if you have a game that you want us to like talk about, the studio is perfect. You just go and leave a comment right below there. You can of course hit us up on Twitter. MTarget product, Redmage JR.
Gosu Network,
Smite Central,
Gosu Network,
Overwatch,
Smite Central,
Overwatch, CORPS. We see it. We monitor all that stuff all day long, and then we'll get back to you either here on the videos or we'll actually respond back directly into the chat for you. So, and again, we're still talking about it live. So if you're interested in seeing it live, definitely leave a comment. Let us know. Hey, I'd watch that. And then.
Maybe a little more chat interaction.
Yeah,
just a thought.
Yeah, just a thought. We may not do them all live, but we may do one a month kind of a thing live where it kind of gets into a little thing. And if you want us to talk to other people or that kind of a thing, we can always figure something else out for that. But in general, thanks a lot. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and subscribe to us so that way whenever we post new videos. You'll be able to find this video on the Gosu Network. Which is where it's going to be hosting now, is on the Gosu Network YouTube. But we'll make reference to it in playlists from Smite Central and from the Overwatch core, so you can find them all there. And we'll see you all next week.
You have to push the stop button now.
That button?
Yes, that button.
That button right there.
Push the button!